Africa, a vast continent teeming with life in all its forms. From the golden savannas to the lush rainforests, it was a land of immense beauty and unparalleled biodiversity. But beneath this natural splendor lay a treasure trove of resources: diamonds, gold, rubber, and more. This bounty did not go unnoticed by the ambitious nations of Europe. As the 19th century reached its peak, Europe found itself in the throes of the Industrial Revolution. Factories roared to life, demanding raw materials to fuel their insatiable appetites. Africa, with its untapped wealth, became an irresistible target. It was a land ripe for exploitation, seen as a source of raw materials and a market for manufactured goods. European powers, hungry for resources and driven by competition, turned their gaze towards Africa. It was a continent they saw as theirs to conquer and control. Little did they know, their actions would leave an indelible mark on the continent and its people, shaping the destiny of Africa for generations to come. The allure of Africa for Europe was threefold: economic, political, and social. The economic imperative was clear. Industrialized nations craved raw materials to fuel their factories and new markets to sell their goods. Africa, with its vast reserves of rubber, diamonds, gold, and other resources, promised to satisfy these needs. Beyond economics, political ambitions played a crucial role. European powers, locked in competition with one another, saw colonial possessions as a measure of national prestige and power. Each nation sought to outmaneuver its rivals, claiming vast swaths of territory to bolster their standing on the world stage. Africa, seen as a land up for grabs, became a pawn in this geopolitical chess game. Social factors also played a part. Some Europeans believed in their own superiority, justifying colonialism as a civilizing mission. They argued that it was their duty to bring Christianity, Western education, and progress to the uncivilized peoples of Africa. This paternalistic and deeply flawed view fueled the scramble for colonies. The scramble for Africa reached a fever pitch in the 1880s. European powers engaged in a frenzy of land grabs and treaty signings. To avert a wider war, German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck convened the Berlin Conference in 1884. Representatives from 14 European nations and the United States gathered to establish rules for the partition of Africa. Notably absent were any representatives from the African nations. The conference produced the General Act, formalizing the carving up of Africa. Section 4. Carving up a continent. The spoils of colonialism. The Berlin Conference marked the beginning of a new era in Africa, one defined by European colonialism. Over the next few decades, the continent was systematically divided and conquered. By 1914, only Ethiopia and Liberia remained independent. The rest of Africa had been carved up and absorbed into the colonial empires of Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Portugal, Italy, and Spain. Britain, with its vast empire, secured control over large portions of East and Southern Africa, including Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, and Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. France, focused on West Africa, established a vast colonial empire stretching from Senegal to Chad. Belgium seized control of the Congo Basin, a region larger than Western Europe, infamous for its brutal exploitation under King Leopold II. The division of Africa at the Berlin Conference had a profound impact on the continent's political geography. Artificial borders, drawn with little regard for existing ethnic or cultural boundaries, divided communities and sowed the seeds of future conflicts. Section 5. Scars on the Land. The Legacy of Division. The scramble for Africa had a devastating impact on the continent and its people. Colonial rule brought profound social, economic, and political transformations, often with disastrous consequences. Traditional governance was disrupted, replaced by European administrations exploiting local populations. African labor and resources were exploited, enriching colonial powers while leaving Africa impoverished. Arbitrary borders drawn by European powers continue to impact Africa, creating fertile ground for ethnic tensions and conflicts. Section 6. Echoes of the Scramble: Africa's Long Journey. The scramble for Africa stands as a stark reminder of the destructive power of imperialism. The arbitrary division had a profound impact on Africa's political, economic, and social fabric. Despite colonial horrors, Africans never relinquished their struggle for freedom. Independence movements gained momentum, leading to a wave of decolonization. African nations are forging their own paths, seeking to overcome past challenges. The story urges us to learn from the past and strive for a more just world.